Hello, my name is Carol May Whittick, your creativity and spiritual life coach and your host of Her Conversations, Tools for the Awakening. Her is an acronym for Higher Energetic Resonance. This is the optimal state to embody in order to attract our highest desires. What is the awakening? This is the moment in time when humanity rises up out of the darkness. Who is awakening? Each one of us present on earth today, reclaiming our sovereignty, seeking greater possibilities in our reality and looking for solutions. We know being awakened is not a lofty ideal but a necessity. If we can transform ourselves, we can change the world. Guests on Her Conversations will speak to your spirituality, sensuality and soul. Listen to their stories and hear how they are in service to the world. Let their words and these conversations embolden and inspire you. Welcome to this episode and welcome to episode 200 of Her Conversations. It's been a long road and it's been an enjoyable road, and I have no intention of stopping anytime soon. And before we get into the episode, this week's episode with my special guest, Yogi Aikam Ji, I just want to share with you a couple of ways that I can support you. Next week, Wednesday, the 10th of July, will be the launch of my monthly Creative Confidence workshop. There has never been a more important time in humanity to align with our innate creativity. This monthly workshop is going to help you rediscover those creative abilities, explore spiritual practices that will enhance your creativity so that you can confidently integrate your creativity to any aspect of your life. It's a free masterclass. Links to the masterclass and all of my other offerings are in the show notes below. My guest on this week's special 200 episode is Yogi Aikam Ji. He has a background as a research scientist with a Master's of Science in Entomology, and he moved from his successful business career to follow the universal calling and guide fellow human beings who wish to walk the path of truth. He is a representation of the perfect combination of science and spirituality and totally lives his life by his mantra: life is not to live but to spend. Be 100% in the present moment. During our conversation, we will share how we met, which is an extra special story. And that was many years ago, before this podcast was even an idea in my mind. Also, during the episode, Yogi Aikam Ji shares his thoughts on what it is to be a spiritual person in this world in 2024. He also directs us with a simple practice we can use in these chaotic times, and also talks about his hopes for the future of humanity. So as always, I begin by asking my guest. Her is an acronym for Higher Energetic Resonance. When do you feel that higher energetic resonance?
It's a great question, because throughout my life, when I was more into the material world, I felt depleted all the time. Okay. There is no food, no drink that will boost my energy that I was seeking, apart from when I was in my university and I was all India level athlete and I was playing cricket for my university. When I came into the material world more, when I became professional, no matter what I do, I will always feel something is lacking within me. But when I started connecting myself inside, then I realized that there is one supreme energy that is always with me and trying to protect me. So as the days went by, when I made the connection to the one source, let us say, or the higher realms, there is an infinite source that is continuously flowing all the time. It is like a river. You can choose to stay in there or you can choose to come out. I choose to stay in there, and I feel 24/7 very highly energy connections, which is with me, within me, in me, around me. That is what it is. It's like depending on where your radio is catching the frequency from, there are all frequencies in the universe. So if we tune our radio, so-called, our breath and a mind to the highest frequencies, we start receiving the signals. I stay in this realm all the time. Of course, some ups and downs comes, but I never lose connection. because it is irreversible. Once you have made the connection, it stays.
So before we go further into our conversation, Yogi Aikam Ji, please just tell everyone a little bit about your background and how you got to be doing the work that you're doing today.
Thank you, Carol. Okay, my real name is Harpal Singh, and I was born in the northwest part of India called Punjab, and I belong to a Sikh family. And by profession, I am an entomologist. I did my master's in agricultural sciences, where I did research on entomology and plant pathology. And then I worked in the pesticide industry. Then I came to New Zealand in around 2000, 2001. And I did work in the food industry. And then I floated my own business as a food safety consulting company. But as I said before, during my family life as well and the professional life, whenever I will go to bed, something was always missing in me, which was seeking. Somebody was always sad inside me. And I knew somehow that whatever I'm doing, it's not fulfilling me. So starting to ask questions about myself, about spirituality, meditation, I knew nothing. One day I just somehow, when I was sitting in my sunroom and the sun was setting and I looked at the sun, there was a sad feeling came and I closed my eyes and sun appeared in my third eye. It felt so good. I sat there for a moment and slowly the sun raised and vanished in my head and my eyes got still there. And that was the start. And it shifted everything after that. From a late morning waker, if I have to work at 8 a.m. in my office, I'll be waking up around 7:15 and run into the shower, have my breakfast, and be in the office by 8 o'clock. But that overnight experience shifted something in me. And from there, I started waking up. Okay, 7:15 is not enough for me. I need to do my prayers or chant or something, read my scripture. Okay, I will wake up 7. 7 is not enough. I wake up 6:30 and the 6 and the 5:30 and 5 and 4:30 and 4, and the clock went backwards. Mm-hmm. And then I was waking up 2 in the morning to do my meditations. And that was it. As I went deeper and deeper, I started asking questions about life, like, what am I doing here? Who am I? And Carol, as the years went by, one day I found myself meditating in the Himalayan cave at -10 degrees, at 15,000 feet, taking bath in the glacier waters, hardly eating anything. I spent there months trying to find answers. Who am I? And as you can call Kundalini, or people call serpent energy, whatever you call, as your awareness is rising, the needs of the world looks very small. Because here, what I am doing for myself, expanding my soul, it feels that that is the right thing to do, because the immense peace, immense happiness, immense joy comes, which no one can take away. But we come to the material world, anything we earn in terms of money or whatever it is, it's not long lasting. It has death attached to it. When we stay in the material world, the end result is always the death. But when we connect to our inner world, it's a deathless state. An expansion. So more you travel inside, you touch the new realms, and all that you imagine you have heard in the books from the great yogis, it just manifests like it's happening straight in front. I have had experiences where the masters, you can call higher realms or demigods. You know about Lord Krishna and Durga and Kali and Guru Nanak Ji and all. I have met all of them, including Jesus Christ. It's not that I called them. I was just in the meditation, and someday this energy is manifesting, and some other day that energy is manifesting. And every time something happens, the body goes into much higher or much deeper depths inside. The words that comes out of the mouth now are much more deeper. The way looking at things is different. The way you hear the sound is much different. So basically, you start hearing the unsaid, and then you start watching the unshown. And it's a tremendous journey. And you get to meet the masters, which are thousands of years of old, and they come down, they descend to help you right in front. I remember one day I was just sitting, and you heard about Deathless Yogi, Mahavatar Babaji. Mm-hmm. The one who's Deathless Yogi mentioned in that book, Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda Paramhansa, the great masters of Kriya Yoga, Kriya lineage. Babaji came along with one of my masters that I met in the eastern jungles of India. And Babaji looked at my Guruji, and my Guruji showed me some pranayam and asanas. And Babaji looked at me and asked me to practice that. So I practiced, and I practiced. And as I am practicing, the new fountains of joy, the nectar, the divine nectar is opening. And it's just bliss. It's hard to explain to people what it is, being like to be in that situation. Initially, I did not have much knowledge, but and I do not read books because I would rather study my own self than any book who someone's thoughts are. So I spent my time reading myself, and the new knowledge start coming out. And people start calling it as a wisdom.
So when we met, because I think it's important as well, that I want to share that when we met. So I met you, and I was thinking just before we were recording of when we met, and it was so brief also as well. So I met you when I was journeying from the UK to Rishikesh, and I was in 2017. And I met you on the connecting flight. So the connecting flight from Delhi.
From Delhi to Rishikesh. It's 45 minutes flight.
Yeah, short flight. And the one thing that I remember, I think I slept for a long time because I was so tired because I'd flown all the way from England. I think I stopped in Bahrain, and then I had to wait in Delhi for 5 hours before that plane, so I was exhausted.
Yeah, you looked exhausted.
I was exhausted. But one thing I do remember about you is because all of the journey, the majority of the other passengers were men. Either they were Arabian men or Indian men. So, and I was like a lone woman, so people they're not really going to speak to a woman. I don't think it's the culture to do so. So I'd been traveling. No one had really made eye contact or smiled at me or anything like that. But I remember when you came on the plane, one, you're tall like me. So, and then you had this big smile on your face, and you were sitting next to me like, oh my gosh, it's like the first time anyone's spoken to me in hours, maybe like 14 hours or something. But I remember like for the brief exchange that we had, you were talking about your work. I think I told you a bit about myself, and you were showing me some pictures of your work. And that was it. I think we just kept in contact via WhatsApp and social media since then. But it was interesting because I was going to study yoga, but also to take some time because the previous 6 months, there had been a lot of significant deaths in my family. And I needed some time to go process, because It wasn't happening here.
I was traveling from eastern parts of India, from Kolkata to Rishikesh to meditate. So when I saw, when I entered in the flight, and I knew something was around me. And when I looked at you, and in my mind, the thought was installed, and it was said, Carol. So I came, and I was in the window seat and you were in the aisle seat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at you, say, what's your name? And you said, I'm Carol. So there is a plan. There is some divine thing is working here. And I shared my work with you about some experiences of some, how universe, some great pictures which people just imagine or visualize, they see, but they all happen in front of me. So I was lucky enough to click those pictures, and I was sharing that. Basically, it was all about that it is possible. It is possible to stay in the material world, yet the divine is so near that you have no idea. It is possible to stay in the world, spiritually enlightened person, yet do the work that is required to look after ourselves. So, and when I looked at you, Carol, yes, there was something very simple about you. So I started a conversation because I thought it's important to know the passenger. And also Rishikesh, as you have now experienced, it's very commercial place, right? It's called yoga capital of the world. And also wanted to extend, if you do need any help, any phone number, here is my phone number. If you do not know anyone there, if you need, you can call me anytime. Because I spent my time in New Zealand. I know how it feels when you go to a different, strange country and culture to experience something new. It's always good to have some known numbers in your pocket. So we stayed connected after that. It's been 9 years now.
Yeah, and the thing that's so interesting as well is this episode we're recording. I said to you, I want to put this out. This will be number 200. And when I met you, I hadn't even had the idea to start. So I didn't even start. The idea didn't even come into my mind until the September of that year. And then I didn't publish the first ones until maybe the November of that year. So, in all of those years, that's one of the things that has grown for me. Many other things, of course, have happened. But what I've also witnessed from you is the evolution of you and the work that you are doing now, which is what I really want you to talk about now, about the work that you're offering and all of that. So
those moments I was doing my own meditations. And the time comes in a meditator's life when the master say, okay, now you are ready to go. So after meeting you, in the next couple of months, in the May, June of those years, I went to the Himalayas, Badrinath Ji, and I stayed in my cave for months. Then I come down and I went back next year again. So the work I do, Carol, basically, so there are different paths, let's say, different paths. One is mantra yoga, mantra where people use the sound to invoke the divinity or whatever vibration they want to connect, mantra yoga. Then there is a yantra yoga, yantra where we use the sacred geometries to invoke. And the third is the Tantra Yoga, Tantra where we use mantra and a sacred geometry to make it alive or active. Then there is a Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, which people, masters like Guru Nanak Dev Ji or Meera, who was a follower of Krishna, they were into the Bhakti Marg, Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, where you surrender everything. One path is the Jnana Marg, the path of the knowledge, where you will see people, whatever is written in the scriptures, they are trying to translate that in their knowledge and telling people what it actually means. So Bhakti Marg, Gyan Marg, and the one marg is called the Urja Marg, the path of energy, which is the path of Kundalini. Okay. Now, path of Kundalini is a very powerful and dangerous as well. Dangerous because on the path you are shown a lot of lurings or gifts or toys to play with. Okay. And it's very easily the person can fall by seeing the greed can come, the ego can come. It's all part of that. Like the devils are trying to test how honest you are on the path you are walking every time. And not every Kundalini meditator or master of knowledge path or master of devotion path, they are not able to heal people. Like Jesus Christ, he was a Kundalini meditator. His Kundalini was awake. He was able to do the Shakti path, the sacred transmissions of energy to heal people. Okay. So my path is the same one. During my meditations, when the Mother Divine appeared and she gave me these blessings or transmissions, and she became alive in my body along with many masters. So they gave me the empowerment to help people heal and also try to guide them to release their karmas from this life and past lives. Karmas, the actions that we perform in the terms, the actions that are not resolved, they remain as trauma inside us. So my role is through the transmissions, electrical transmissions or Shakti path or healing power, help people to release traumas from their body, the physical body and their subtle bodies. So this path is dangerous, plus it's also a thankless job. You know, when you help people and they go back in their own habits, and it's like how much you clean someone, they again jump in the mud. So that is one work I do, helping people to release their karmic baggages. Secondly, when Babaji appeared, Mahavatar Babaji, he guided me to initiate people into Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is considered as a path of enlightened ones. So it's a very scientific way of, one, healing the body, and two, raising the awareness to meet the source or God or all that is, you can name the way you want to. That's what I do. Initiate people into the mantras who want to work with the mantras, initiate people into Kriya Yoga who doesn't want to chant the mantras, but who want to perform some actions of the body and mind and breath. So all paths lead to one reality, that is absolute truth. That's what I do.
And I wouldn't expect anything less of you. It's just like, it seems like the perfect evolution that you're doing, the work that you're doing. And I want to as well really talk about how it really feels now with the world, how it's shifting and changing. It seems that everyone is really under pressure. And some people are aware of the pressure. Some people feel the pressure and may not recognize that it's where it's coming from or what's happening. There is also so much that we're witnessing in terms of the technology that's coming, and how can we balance ourselves to be able to utilize technology to enrich our lives. Like, we're having this conversation because of technology, but yet don't get lost in the technology where we lose the connection with ourselves and with the divine part of us, so that we don't just fall into a tunnel and forget that there's part of us there. What, if any, thoughts do you have about this? What can we do to make sure that as the ages are changing, as we're moving forward into this new transformed world, that we maintain all of the things, that we maintain our spiritual connection, that we also utilize the tools that are being created for us. And if we use them, to have the discernment to recognize when they are not helping us or when they're taking us away from the truth of ourselves.
Yes, Carol. Today's whatever is happening in the world, you can see there's a chaos, there's a stress levels increased. People are sad, feeling lonely. The joy is missing in their lives. First of all, we really need to understand when people talk about a material life or a spiritual life, what is the definition of spiritual life? I mean, is it that spiritual person is always sitting eyes closed and always talking about love and light language and the rosy pictures and put a smile, but inside they are crying for help and say, somebody show me the path or way to do, but I'm a spiritual person. I am not supposed to get angry. I'm not supposed to talk loud. These are all people have developed the ideas of spirituality. The easiest definition that I came up with throughout these years now, I've been meditating for over 30 years now in total. 30 years in my awareness, but since I was 4, it all started from there. So over 46 years, I'm in touch with these realms or spirituality. And the easiest definition is, it's not that are you a Hatha yoga practitioner or a Kundalini yoga practitioner, or you are a breath worker, or you're a sound healer, or you are a crystal, nothing. Easiest definition of spirituality is, if you think you are easy and simple, then you are spiritual. What is spirituality? It should be easy. It should be simple, sahaj. So people who are honest, they're very easy people. They don't hide things inside. Only manipulators, they manipulate things and hide inside. They're not transparent about it. So if you are easy and you are a simple person, whether you believe in God or not, doesn't matter. You are a spiritual person. When we come into the material life, what we recognize is we have lost connection to our roots. Roots in the sense when our mother and fathers, they decide to have a baby, okay? It's in the mother's womb. So our birthplace is in the mother's womb, connected to this umbilical cord, right? And what is the first organ that is developed in our body? That is heart, okay? Heart, the birthplace of heart is in the navel. But as we grow, the heart is shifted in our chest. And that place that is left in your navel, that's where the mind grows. Okay. Now, the whole problem in the world is there is a disconnection between a heart and a mind. As long as we stay disconnected, the chaos will stay in the life. The disturbance will stay in the life. And being easy and being simple is your heart and mind are same. That means your awareness is sitting in the navel at your birthplace. Now, why that is important? Because it is the navel, which you call third energy center, or say, fire center of our body. That is where the breath also starts in our body. The breath starts from the navel. And that is also a center of 2 fires in our body. One is a spiritual fire, one is a digestive fire. When we pay connection, when we pay more attention to our mind, the digestive fire becomes so much that the greed starts developing inside us. And our spiritual fire goes down. And people who says we are spiritual, they are always trying to talk about spiritual life, but their digestive fire goes down as well. In this world, spirituality always has answered for these questions. What we need to do is create a balance inside our navel make connection to our breath, make the breath more peaceful. So right now in our body, we have a physical body, and when we have breathing going on, there's a subtle body that is sitting inside us. Okay, that subtle body, and there is a mind body inside us. So subtle body and your physical body are attached together through mind. So result of this, when things happen outside, people take it very personally in their subtle body. Okay, whereas there has to be a separation. Whatever happens outside, it is separated from you. Your reality is inside. Okay, it remains personally and privately always available to you, provided you keep those things outside that are happening outside. People do not know how to separate themselves. Okay, so they bring material life in their subtle life, they bring work in their life, and the chaos starts. And that's where the mind becomes the boss. And mind uses these five senses to perceive the world. And mind will keep you busy outside. Whereas spiritual side, when people go more into spiritual side, they say, okay, mind is, I don't want to deal with the mind because mind is greedy, mind does that, mind do that, and let me close my eyes, let me talk love and light, and let me be in that higher awareness. No, it doesn't work like that. The biggest friend you can have is mind, and the biggest enemy you can have is mind. Depends on which one you want to be. And the divine being, the real spiritual person, mind acts as a friend, and they become both available to the spiritual world and material world. So people need to learn how to separate the inner world with the outer world. And that is how the conflict goes on. I mean, people are playing outside with their family members, with their friends, with their partners, but they take those successes and their failures so personally that the inner self, they become self-violent. This is a form of violence only. Hinsa. So we then become violent people, and we violate ourselves through our words, through our actions, through our thoughts. Before we harm anyone, we harm our own selves. And this is where Ashtanga Yoga also says, ahimsa, be non-violent. Non-violent through your words, through your actions, and through your thoughts. Non-violent doesn't mean outside. Non-violent to your own self. Stop killing yourself. Stop putting yourself down. Stop doubting yourself. Okay? Stop comparing yourself to others. And every time something happens outside, we take it so personally that we keep eating our own self. Whereas outside is just a drama, it's a play that has happened. But the memory retains in you. And because you do not know how to separate those, your whole physical body then starts acting as per the thoughts that you are hiding inside. The traumas that are sitting outside, we become the walking trauma. We then start talking through our traumas. We then start watching through our traumas. We start listening through our traumas. The trauma becomes so powerful inside that it becomes a living entity in us. And we forget who we are actually. So resolving the past, resolving the matters is so important. It will bring your heart back to where it belongs, in your navel. So in the spiritual body, we say is that through the navel, the 72,000 energy channels go through, because that is our birthplace. That is the birthplace of our existence. Your navel, your Manipur, your fire center. And if we stay in our belly, we give energy to all those 72,000 energy channels that make your body. That enables you how you think, what you speak, what you hear, how you perform actions, everything. The secret is in your navel. If we are disconnected from our navel, we are disconnected from our real self. The more we are disconnected from our real self, the more we are harmed by the material world, because mind is a boss there. And that's why my masters told that the master in your life has only one role: to remind you who you are. And mind has only one role. The world has only one role: to keep you into forgetfulness. The more you are forgetful, the more you do not know about yourself, the more world is ruling over you. The more they are ruling over you, the more less you are becoming. And forever searching for so-called peace and love and joy and compassion and unconditional love, it won't happen till you make connection inside. And that's what masters do. They have no other role. So on one side, there is a soul. On another side, there is a mind. In between, right in the middle, standing your master. Mind says, come with me outside the world. Let's go to the pub. Let's go to the movie. Let's find a partner. And the master says, that is not the reality. Your reality is inside you. Trying to give my memory back. Who I am. What is my real essence? What is my truth? So that's the role of master. Not to touch you, but only remind you. Carol, no. That's not your realities. Your reality is inside. Go in your heart. You will find me there. All the wisdom is there. You have it in you. You don't need people for that. Just look inside.
Can you share, if there is one, to anyone who's listening, a simple practice when they feel themselves being pulled into the mind, into the world, into fear, into confusion, trauma, into blame and comparison, and all of the things that you spoke about? Because, like you say, all of those things are used to pull you away from yourself. You think everything, in terms of the way that things are suggested to us, the advertising of this is the way your life should be, and the reason that people will move away from their purpose or move away from their desire is because they're thinking, well, I'm not there yet, or I don't have as much, that comparison. Yes. And that's what it easily draws you into a path that has nothing to do with who you are. What simple
Absolutely.
things?
Yeah. So, Carol, one thing, what people need to realize is everything is fear-oriented in the world. Okay. When we are disconnected from ourselves, when we do not honor ourselves, when we start listening to others, that's where the fear has won. So everything you go out there, and people know that these big companies, they know that. So there is a man and there is a woman, right? So sometimes men are very stubborn. They can't be easily manipulated. But women are a little emotional. So manipulate them. Okay, this is a new dress for you. That's a new makeup for you. You look more beautiful. Your partner will look at you. They will hear you. Wear this perfume. They are around you. Everything is about you don't have it. And if you want to be accepted, if you want to be loved, if you want to be heard, do these things. Come and shop with us. Okay? And in terms, those women, okay, they go and buy and say, honey, how am I looking? And all that. And this is all part of manipulation. The very basic reason, again, is the disconnection from the self. One thing we need to know in the world, I'm not talking about your mother or father or family members, because some family members, they really want good for you. Okay? They really want to provide what they couldn't have. But in the world, people cannot let you have what they have lost in their life. There is an inner repellence to that. So people who are giving advice are the same one who have lost all the relationship, who have lost in their life. And if they see you walking on the path of peace and you are looking free and you are looking more relaxed, somehow they will try to inject that virus in you, the doubts. Are you careful? Just be careful. Don't do that. My friend went out there. Have you heard that news? Everything is about installing that virus in you. So you shift from your center, that is from your navel. That is where the fear sits. Something happens, the fear happens, and the first thing that happens is our intestine, our stomach gets squeezed. So the peace is gone, the breath has shifted. So if a very simple exercise is, if you just be aware of your navel and make sure you are breathing from your navel, things will calm down, no matter you know any practice or you don't know any practice. If you just stay aware of your navel, you know that that is my birthplace and that is where you have everything. Things will shift outside. When you sit in the center, the fear cannot touch you there. But when you shift from the center, only fear remains there. Fear, if you don't have money, what is going to happen? Oh my God, I don't have money, I'll die of hunger. Or if I don't have this, I will lose the relationship. Everything is about fear. Everything is about fear. Because there is no one else there in the navel. Because you are wandering outside somewhere else and your body has been taken by something else. Your body has been taken by fear. Your body is now taken over by all this guilt and shame and poverty consciousness. Everything will draw down, and that is the modus operandi of the mind. When mind wants to get things done, it will throw fear at you. Like eat or you will die. Or you will die. That's what mind is working at you. So all this chaos is because people have not been told or shown or spoken how to make connection with the self. If you just breathe, I will tell you, normal person breathes like 2 liters of air your lungs can hold 2 liters of air, right? A normal person breathes only around 200 mL or 400 mL of air. What is going to happen to the 1600? See, where the light is not there, there is a darkness. It becomes a cold energy, like a cobwebs. So if the room, you see that if you close the room, the air inside will start stinking. Okay, the coldness will come, the emotional disconnection happens. But if you just breathe and stay in your belly, the center of your existence, you will be filled with automatic healing. The lungs will be complete, and all those so-called devils or dark energies, all those cobwebs in your body, they will disappear and you will heal yourself. So simple practice is put both the hands or a middle finger in your belly and just breathe. Just like a baby breathes. You breathe, belly comes out. You breathe out, belly goes down. And remember, people cannot let you have what they have lost. This will help you to identify who is real friend and who is not. This will also help you to identify the red flags in the relationships. This will help you identify the fake and shallow advices you receive from people. And remember, you are your own friend. You are your own best friend. So make use your own self. Stay in your belly, the center to the universe. Beautiful. I can speak about on this one long one, what is the role of our belly in our life. The most important center of your existence is your belly. And yogis have developed so many formulas to stay connected and be calm. That's where your fire is. That's where your balance is. So if you stay in the belly, your spiritual fire, your digestive fire, they will be balanced. When they will be balanced, the temperature of your body will be balanced. The immunity you have will be increased. They will be healing in your body. The skin will be shining and you will speak deeper. That's a magic place you want to be. And once you are there, once you are sitting there, then let the body work. But you sit inside. It's like Krishna said that, is it possible to perform the action and not get the karmas? And he said, yes, it is possible. And then he says one verse which actually means is, wise are the one who identifies the difference between action within the inaction and inaction within the action. What it means is, if somebody is sitting peacefully, closing eyes, and you say, wow, this person is so deep, but the mind is running million miles an hour. So although the body is in action mode, but the mind is in action mode. So when the mind is working, you are collecting the karmas. You are thinking about the past, or you are thinking about the future, and the anxieties and panic attacks are happening. But if you're sitting in the belly, although the body is moving, body is in the action state, but your real essence is in the inaction mode. By performing actions like that condition, in that state, you will not attract the karmas. You will not attract the pain, because then you are just a witness. The body is working, but you are inside. The problem is, body is also working and you are also working and taking things personally. So learn to separate yourself. Sit inside. You don't need to go outside. You means you as a real essence. You don't need to go outside, and let body work. Let body talk. Let body listen. But inside, remain peaceful. That's the mantra, to be peaceful all the time.
We could go for a long time, but I want to keep this good for the listeners. You can come back next time. I want to just ask you, what are your thoughts? What are your visions for how humanity is shifting and changing, and what is possible for us? What are you seeing? Are there enough people who are hearing and doing the work like what you offer, and similar work of coming back to ourselves and healing, in order for us to move into a space that we all desire on a core level, even though the world is telling us that everything is falling apart? What are your hopes, or what are your visions for the future of humanity?
Well, my vision is that sooner or later, people will realize that not everything told to them leads to their peace and so-called prosperity and abundance and happy state. They have to realize that they have been manipulated for so long. Okay? Only they can help themselves when they listen to the heart. So here, the humans have a great potential, because they have a choice to work as in the animal awareness, which is food, sex, and shelter. That's what animals do, and most of the people are doing that. Okay, that is also fear-based survival. Humans have the option of living as a human being, feeling emotional connection with a fellow human being. Okay. Something is happening to you, may happen to others, or whatever is happening to others can happen to you. It's humans have a choice to help each other. And the third one is, humans also have choice to live a life of a warrior, means protecting the self and protecting the community. And fourth choice, which humans have, is to live like a divine being. Right now, I have a great hope that in the next 5-6 years, after this chaos is going to go on till maybe 2034, 35, and the great chaos will be happening in 2026, 27. Okay? It's starting from next year onwards, which you're already seeing what's happening. People will realize that only they are their own saviors. There is no Jesus Christ outside. There is no Krishna outside. You got to be your Jesus Christ, and you got to be your own Krishna. You want to live your life, you really have to look after yourself and stop listening to people who are out there, because they are running for their own journey. They have their own agendas, their own targets. But at the end of the day, only you feel your hunger. Only you feel that you need to sleep. So look after yourself, look after the fellow human beings. And of course, more the merrier on this path. But we don't need healers outside. we just have to heal ourselves to one understanding. If you shift yourself, you will shift the whole world. We don't need 100,000 or people or 20 million or 2 billion people. Every person takes the responsibility that, yes, I have right to exist and I'm going to look after myself. This shift of thought will shift your alchemy. And as you shift your alchemy, the energy around you will shift and the community will shift. We don't wait for help from outside if we can't help ourselves. So there is a chance that humanity will go through the higher awareness very soon, but only after they experience the chaos in the life, only to realize that it was not enough. Take an example. If today everyone is running after money, right? Everyone is running after the cars and all these possessions and all. Imagine one day everyone is given whatever money they want. All the material possessions. Only then they will realize that it was not about material possession. It was their inner peace, inner joy that matters. So you can choose to keep running and keep looking for it. And if you're lucky, you might find it in the material possessions, your peace. But chances are highly unlikely because history has not presented any example so far. Or you can sit today and think about, who are you? What is the purpose of your life? Is it just eating or going on a holiday? Is it just making money? What do you want? You want peace. And it starts with you now. Breathe, darling, breathe. So yes, there are chances we're going to come back again once we go through this chaos. And for that, we have to look after each other. That's what we are here for. Even animals help each other. The birds, plant, everyone helps each other. It's the human that wants to kill others. And animals hunt only when they're hungry. But humans, even they're not hungry, they keep on hunting other human beings, keep on eating others. That's greed. What else it is? The nature has provided so much for everyone. But how much is enough? Humans' hunger can never be satiated. So we all have to come together, to be together, to be in one family, Vasudev Kutumbakam, one earth, one family. We are same human beings. We eat the same food. We drink the same water. We breathe the same air. It's not that somebody is breathing the Muslim air or a Christian air or Hindu air or Buddhist air. Air remains neutral. Water, there is no Hindu water, Muslim water, Christian water. The water remains same. When nature is providing everything in neutral form and we are happy taking it in a neutral form, when it comes to the human beings, why do we get divided then in the caste and cultures and countries and all those lines on the map? This is our own creation. The more we are divided, the more weaker we are. So let's make the connection inside and feel strong about who we are. We are very powerful, Carol. The human body is very, very, very powerful. Let's walk together. Let's looking after each other.
Yes. Thank you. This was the perfect episode for 200, and this was the perfect message because the conversations, you can see, is tools for the awakening, and I want all the messages to be about different aspects of our awakening, but this was a really powerful one, and I thank you for granting me the opportunity to bring you on for this special
thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure talking to you after so many years. And we can, next time we can choose a topic and we go much more deeper into that topic, because that's the only purpose I have, helping people for the experience I have experienced on the other side. And if it is of useful for anyone, why not? Why not? I mean, where else would we go? The books don't have answers. And people say, when do I need master, Guruji? And I said, okay, when you are tired of watching all the YouTube videos, when you are tired of reading all the books, when you are tired of talking all the people, then you need a master, because talking, listening, doing things is not going to take you to your center. So let's help each other to make a connection with our own center, the center within us, the center of the universe, one source, the absolute truth.
And can you just mention where people can find you?
Yeah, on social media, thanks to the technology. People can search me as a Yogi Aikam, hashtag Yogi Aikam. So I'm present on Facebook and Instas and TikTok. And my website is yogiaikam.com. Aikam, A-I-K-A-M. There are different ways of writing it. So Yogi Aikam, or my full name is Yogi Aikam Ekoham Nath Ji. So I belong to the Nath lineage. So Aikam Ekoham means that there is only one doer, only one source, and the only one source. There cannot be duality up there. So that's the name my master gave me, who meditated 27 years in the Himalayan caves. So you can search me as a hashtag NZ Guru as well. I have an ashram in New Zealand. It's called Sri Shiv Shakti Ashram. And I go to India, and will be making an ashram in Rishikesh as well. If somebody wants to come to Rishikesh, travel with me, or that you can come to New Zealand, stay here in the ashram, learn from me. It's all there. So hashtag Yogi Aikam is the easiest one. We'll put the link in your bio somewhere so people can go on the website and search, Carol.
Thank you so much, Yogi Aikam Ji, for being a guest on my 200th episode, and thank you for listening. Once again, a reminder, if you want to join in the Creative Confidence, check the link in the show notes below. It's completely free to join, and it will be a monthly occurrence. So we will be building a community together of creatives in these new times. Also, as you continue to enjoy her conversations, please consider leaving a review and sharing this episode with people who you think the message will resonate. To find out more about me, you can go onto my website. That's carolmaywhittick.com, carolmaewhittick.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn and Facebook as Carol May Whittick, and as Kazmic, Cazmick, on Instagram. Have a great week, and here's to another 200. Take care. Bye.